Well, hello everybody, and welcome to WAM Wednesday for May 12th, 2021. We got a little weekly accountability that we do here, and then a little bit of training afterwards. So hang in there with me. And if you don't have a copy of our weekly accountability review form here, feel free just to put something in comments, and we'll shoot one over to you. Just a real simple PDF, but you can just mark these things in your own journal or own calendar if you want to. Of course, I use a Phoenix journal. This is where it comes from, so props to those guys. But I think it'd be really good for you to use the same format and help you get through your weeks and make sure that you're being productive. Well, all right. Well, let's get right to it. I'm going to back out of here, and I'll be back in a little bit. But let's look at first of all, every week we're going to look at our percentage of key actions that you executed last week. So that's just a percentage. So again, all of your key actions that you had planned for each day, and again, key actions are things that are pertinent to reaching your goal for the week, not picking up the milk or being sure you got flowers for Mother's Day. Of course, that's a pretty big key action, but make sure that you get a percentage here. And again, the passing grade is just based on are you reaching your goals? And how quickly you need to reach those. Of course, action is based on when. How far out the goal has to be attained, backed over by how much action and work you're going to put into it, and that's how you'll figure out, of course, that time frame. But your key actions, just what percent did you execute last week, and just keep a record of that, and then you'll know, as you go through, just be able to keep tabs on yourself. Now, what's very important every week is what victories from the past week are you proud of? And these don't necessarily have to be tied to your key actions. Just what victories from last week are you proud of? What are some great things that happened that you feel like are going to really help you, move closer to your destiny and reach your dreams here? Now, and then what do I most need to improve upon? Of course, this is reflect, plan, execute. Every single week, we want to reflect back and see what we did and how we might be able to do it better. This isn't a beat up session. I tell everybody that all the time. Accountability should not be a negative word. So we just want to go through and see what can we improve upon from the things that we did last week. And of course, one of the big things that we always want to talk about every single week and every single day is what am I most grateful for? So put those things out here, for your week. What are some of the things that happened to you? Some of the people that you came across, but what are you most grateful for? It's very important to relate to that, because sometimes we get down on ourselves and think everything's so negative and things just are horrible in our life. But just sit back and put things in perspective and say, what am I most grateful for? Get those gratitudes in there. That'll really help your mindset stay where it needs to be in the positive mode. All right. And then we also want to go down here and say, what will I do next week to live your life to my fullest? And you want to look at 4 key areas: your relationships, recreation, personal and health, and work. So go ahead and jot things down in there that will really help cover the basis on these 4 areas. And of course, they're not going to be equal. So don't say, well, 20% of the time is relationships, 25% of the time is recreation. No, that's not how it works. You're going to be lopsided. So a well-balanced life is simply just getting things done in each of these areas that really get you to a 10 in that area. It doesn't mean that you spend equal amounts of time, but are you reaching your goals in those areas? So look at your relationships, what recreational activities you could do. And again, you can tie these together. Sometimes relationship and recreation can go together. Personal health and health can go with recreation, or maybe even relationships. Maybe you're both on an eating plan together. So there's things there to look at that. And relationships just aren't your spouse, obviously. They're your social network as well. And of course, work. Work is a 4-letter word, but hey, we got to do it. We gotta. That's what's going to help us reach our goals and help others reach theirs. So look at that too. And then for the week, what are our big 4? You don't have to have 4, but don't have more than 4, because you'll get yourself too diluted. But look at your goals and set some smart goals, and you'll see some boxes there of things you want to do. But make sure that that they're specific, they're actionable, and they're measurable. because if they're not specific and they're not actionable, then and they're not measurable, you're really not going to. They're just wishes and dreams. So be sure that you got some specific things in there that you need to do, that you want, that these specific things are actionable, things you have control over, or you have control over someone who can help you get that, and then measurable. They've got to be measured because we've got to have key actions and some timelines and some areas that we get to that show that we're heading in the right direction. But put your 4 goals in here for the week, or it can just be one goal. It's your life, so figure it out and get that done for yourself this week. And then let's go down and look at what are you looking most forward to this week? And again, if you accomplish this one thing this week, what would it be? And like I said last week, sometimes this is the exact same thing for me. What I'm looking forward to is usually accomplishing the one thing that I need to accomplish that week. So, but look at it, could be different things. Maybe there's things you're looking forward to that aren't what you need to accomplish, but get those things knocked out, and then set yourself up a little action habit tracker here, because if you've got key actions that you've got to do, you got habits that you want to change, you want to set a goal for those, and that's what your aim is. How many times a week are you going to do that? And then check off the days that you do it. And then just keep track of this at your little action habit tracker for the week, built into the Phoenix Journal, but easy enough for you to do if you want to do one of those. But again, just reach out to me if you want a copy of this, and I will get that to you. Well, let's go into our training today, which is going to be the top 6 actions that help you achieve your goals. We just talked about goals. So what are the top actions that are going to help you achieve those? All right, well, let's look at the first page here, but it says that, if you're tired of making goals that you never accomplish, and you just might need a new approach. Conventional mindset goals can fall apart for a bunch of reasons, but once you're aware of why it happens, you can prevent it or fix it, so you can be on your way to achievement. And that's really what we look at every single week when we say, man, what could I have done better, right? Well, I'm going to give you just a few techniques that might help you. For some of you who've been coaching with me for a while, you say, oh, well, we've talked about that a dozen times. Well, repetition is key to anything, and especially in learning and getting habit formation. So we want to make sure that we get things going, because we'd rather be on that red ladder than we would all these white ones, right? So let's get through and let's look at number 1. Set realistic goals. We talk about this all the time. My goodness gracious, these pipe dreams are just pipe dreams, right? You want to set something that's realistic, because one of the most frequent issues that out there is that you pick goals that just aren't realistic, and I see it all the time. I'll say, man, so you really think you can do that, in the next 12 weeks? You really think you can do that in the next year or the next 3 years? Well, okay. Well, let's look at the plan and see if you can do it. But perhaps for instance, you want to travel around the globe, or you want to read hundreds of books, and you want to lose an enormous amount of weight. I get to see a lot. Well, there might be some of your life purpose, but many of them are just not possible anytime soon. So, yeah, you want to gain some traction, right? So, you might not have the money to travel all over right now. You don't have the time to read, because we talk about reading. You want to just read consistently. You don't want to sit here and read 24 hours a day, but get your 10 pages a day in. That'll get you the traction that you need to help you with personal growth. And it's just not healthy to lose weight super quick anyway. So it's important to make your goals tangible. In other words, if you're trying to lose 100 pounds, well, don't say I'm going to lose 100 pounds in the next 90 days. Well, no, just 12 weeks, you're not going to do that. Just focus on losing 5 pounds at a time, right? Because if you can lose 1.5 pounds or so a week, that's pretty good progress. So let's look at these goals, and let's get together and make sure that they're realistic for yourself. Because what's going to happen is Frankenstein over there is going to beat you up when you don't make it. So let's make sure that we have some reasonable goals out there, so you're not continually beating yourself up and tearing yourself down. All right, number 2, break goals into a journey, and some of you may not have ever heard of a goal journey map, but we can sit here and you got your processes and you got milestones out there, and of course you want to concentrate on your good habits and get rid of your bad habits, but there's all kinds of things, right? You got life stories, process phases, you got environment, people, you got metrics, feedback, risk and reward, and some pivots that you might need to make along along the way. But it's easy to set a goal, miss it, and get upset. I mean, people do that all the time because they're just like, well, doggone, it didn't happen. I guess it's just not for me. Well, no, let's break it back a little bit. So instead of doing that to yourself with each goal, let's try a different way. View your goal as a long-term journey where each leg of the journey leads up to where you finally arrive, right? And that's the purpose of daily and weekly reviews and 12-week year and the whole 9 yards that we talk about is let's make it a journey. Yeah, I want to get here, but I've got to get these steps done first and enjoy those successes along the way, right? Get your metrics, get your measurement, and enjoy your successes as you go. But we want to create a plan that will get you to that goal. So it's thoughts, action, and habits, character, destiny. And that's what we want to go through here. But we want to set milestones for that. And again, we want to get you rewards along the way. And I know I'm one to talk because I'm not real big on rewards along the way in my life. I never have been, but you do need to do these things. And so with the 12-week type of plan, you can at least set yourself maybe some monthly milestones, and then at the end of the 12 weeks, get that reward out there for yourself, so that every 12 weeks you can celebrate a little bit. So break these goals down into a journey. Third thing, measure your progress. Again, every Wednesday is what we talk about, but it's all about progress. It's not about perfection. People, I mean, I'm a perfectionist. Trust me, my wife's a perfectionist. We just love these things to be perfect, but it's all about progress. Good is good enough if you can just keep it rolling, right? And in some cases, you may be close to achieving your goal, but you just give up too soon. And we talked about that in the trail along the road to success, how windy and stuff it is, and how so many people just stop, right at the next turn would have been success, but they give up. But by measuring your progress, you'll be able to see what you're doing more clearly, and you'll be able to see that progress as you go. That's why it's important to have a journal. That's why it's important to have a planner, and why I love the Phoenix Journal so much, because you can go back and you can review these things. I've got them stacked up, so I can just go back and look at, last year, where was I, what were my plans, what did I do, what was on my vision board, this thing, and I can watch the progress. Plus, you've got all the stuff in that you've written down and made notes to yourself. So you can go back and check these things. But you're going to be more motivated to stay on the journey and keep pushing towards your goal, your resolution, by setting up a system to track that progress. And if you don't track it, what you don't track, you don't get, right? So if you're not going to set up tracking for yourself and keep yourself accountable, it's just not going to happen for you, because you don't know where you went wrong. And you want to try different tools, like I said, calendars, journals, logs, to keep track of your goals and see which system works best for you. And it may not be the Phoenix Journal, maybe another one out there, but I would highly recommend the Phoenix, and I always will, just because it's really helped me get where I need to be every single 12-week period. But measurement is so very important. All right, the next one. Is ask for help. Now here I go. Yeah, talk about me. Ask for help. I'm a man, right? Well, men, you need to start asking for some help, because sometimes you fail just because you don't ask for help and you try to do everything yourself. Now, does that sound familiar to anybody? I got my hand up. But perhaps a little help will bring you success. And I tell people all the time, I've had mentors that are half my age. I've had mentors that are more than half my age, or less than half my age. So you never know. I mean, who can help you out there? And especially if you're an older, you're more mature person, and maybe all the new stuff coming up, all the new social media stuff and all the technology stuff, maybe it's got you beat up a little bit. Well, go back and just grab a young mentor who's making that work for you. If you're young and you need more mature knowledge, you'll find someone a little bit older to help you out. But it's normal to need help along your journey. I mean, no one's going to look down on you. In fact, most people would be honored to help you. That's what we're all about here. We just want to help people succeed. But you may need an entire support network behind you to achieve your goal. So you got to let people know. That's why we talk about your life purpose. You got to let people know what your goals are, because if you don't let people know what your goals are, how are they going to help you? And a lot of people, they do want to help you out there and make sure you get to where you want to be. But turn to your friends, your family, coworkers, and others for support. So asking for help, you can achieve your goals faster. You can make the entire process easier. You can make it fun, as you work towards your target. So include as many people as you can to help you and get this thing going. You don't have to go it alone. There's no reason to have to go it alone. So I'll be sure and ask for help when you need it. All right, adjust as you pursue your goals. And that's what we talk about in the 12-week year all the time. In 12 weeks, if you set 12-week goals, you can adjust those things. So you can plan, you can check them, you can do the, reflect, plan, execute, and then you can adjust it. Like I said, last year with COVID, it was so difficult if you had annual goals and you sit and you go, oh my God, this happened. Well, if you'd had some just 12-week goals, you're adjusted. They want to be aggressive. You want to make sure that they work for you, but if you have 12-week goals, you can certainly adjust those and based on what happens, right? But you don't have to stick with an old goal. There's just no reason to. Don't go now to ship. If it's too big, if it ain't working, if it ain't happening, if you're getting depressed and all upset and all these things over, then stop. Stop and get you a new goal because you just need it to be changed or modified. And you may evolve as a person and realize that your early ambitions are no longer relevant. That happens all the time. It's called the seasons of life. Jim Rohn goes over that very well. And if you've never been a part of that program or heard any of that stuff, it's so important. The seasons of life, your life changes. And sometimes the things that you wanted are no longer relevant. Sometimes things that you never thought you'd want are now relevant. But your present is constantly affecting your mindset and the way you perceive things. So you accumulate knowledge, wisdom, and experience over time that affects your goals. So always be flexible and always be willing to adjust. And again, you may have some people come and say, man, I thought you said you'd never be that, would ever want that. Well, hey, I changed, and I'm sorry you didn't. But this is me, this is my life, and this is what I want. So be able to be easy on yourself and just as you pursue those goals because they just might have changed. All right. And then let's talk about finally, stay aware of growth. You certainly want to look at your personal growth. There's a lot of different areas you want to develop. You want to have creativity, training, learning, planning, vision, motivation, all your goals. But you'll continue to grow even if you don't reach your goals because look at the things that you learned. I mean, there are goals that I have, goals that I still have that I haven't reached yet, but I've learned so much working towards those goals. And in some cases, failure may be a blessing because it teaches you valuable life lessons you wouldn't have realized before. We talk about failing forward all the time. It's so important. If you're not failing, you're not growing. That's just all there is to it. And I look at someone and say, man, tell me about all your failures. And they say, well, I don't want to talk about those things. Well, those are what makes you grow. That's how you learn. That's your university of success right there. And without failure, you're not going to change enough to grow. It's just not going to happen because you're not putting yourself out there. And failure isn't the end. And as you can always set these new goals. So as you sit out there and you say, man, well, I gave that a shot. Well, let's look back on it and see where we really need to go with it, right? Because it's more important to grow and become stronger than to reach every goal on your list. Because if you're reaching every goal on your list, I'm telling you, they're just not big enough. You're not stretching yourself. You got to have some stretch goals. But remember, your list will also change, so it won't look the same as when you started. It just won't. I mean, I look at A to B for me as an example with me of what I first had out there and what I first thought it would be and what it's turned into. And it just has evolved into a much greater program and a much greater asset for me and all the people that I work with. So be proactive about your goals. I mean, just be ready to make that change. And again, personal growth is such a huge part of it. But take effective actions that support you and your goals, and you'll find that achievement comes much easier. That's all there is to it. So just stay aware of growth as you go through here, and don't beat yourself up if you're not making these goals. And again, if you're hitting all of them, I would beat yourself up over that because they're just not big enough. All right. Well, that does it for today. The top 6 actions that help you achieve your goals. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to hop back in here real quick and say bye to you. We got some things going on this week, but have a great Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. So if you haven't got stuff you need to get done, let's get in there and get it done. We got to keep rolling. We're going to have some Thrive Thursday tomorrow. I got a really cool Finish Strong Friday for you on Friday. So reach out to me if I can ever help you. If you need any of these materials, let me know. I'd be happy to work with you and get some things over to you. But at any rate, have a great rest of the week and keep moving in the direction of your dreams. And we will, as always, talk to you